The sharp edge of a critical word, the coldness of a distant gaze, or the impatience in our tone can wound the hearts of those we hold dear, leaving scars that can linger long after the morning has passed. This behavior displeases God because it disregards the command to love one another as He has loved us. When we approach our family with negativity, we fail to honor the sacredness of these relationships, and we miss the chance to be vessels of His love and grace. Our grumbling not only disrupts the peace of our homes, but also grieves the heart of God, who desires that our homes be filled with His presence and our relationships marked by His love. God calls us to be a light to our family members, to reflect His kindness, patience, and forgiveness in our daily interactions. He desires that we build each other up, starting with the first moments of the day, so that our homes become places where His love is felt and His peace reigns. When we choose to replace grumbling with gratitude, criticism with compassion, and impatience with understanding, we align our hearts with God's will, bringing joy to His heart and blessing to our family. Let us therefore be mindful of how we greet each morning and how we treat those we share it with. By choosing words of kindness, gestures of love, and attitudes of patience, we honor God and create a home that reflects His glory. In doing so, we transform our mornings from moments of tension into moments of grace, pleasing God and deepening the bonds of love within our family. Type this in the comments section: God, help me to show your love to my families every day. Watch how you treat your body. Taking care of your body in the morning is an act of reverence, a way of honoring the temple that God has entrusted to you. As the day awakens, so too should your commitment to nurturing the vessel through which you live, love, and serve. The morning hours are sacred, offering a fresh start and the chance to prepare both body and spirit for the tasks that lie ahead. When you choose to care for your body, through nourishment, exercise, and rest, you are acknowledging the gift of life and the intricate design with which God has crafted you. However, when you neglect this responsibility, when you rush through the morning without thought for the needs of your body, you overlook the divine importance of physical well-being. Skipping meals, denying yourself rest, or forgoing movement are not merely lapses in self-care. They are missed opportunities to honor the Creator who has fashioned you with such care and purpose. Each act of neglect diminishes the strength and vitality you could bring into the day, limiting your ability to serve others and fulfill God's calling. This neglect displeases God, not because He is concerned with appearances, but because your body is His creation, a vessel meant to carry out His will. To disregard its needs is to disregard the gift of life itself. The body is not merely a shell, it is the instrument through which you express love, carry out acts of kindness, and fulfill the duties you've been given. When you fail to care for it, you weaken your ability to live fully and joyfully in His service. God desires that you rise each morning with a heart ready to care for the temple He has given you. He longs for you to nourish it with healthy food, to strengthen it with exercise, and to refresh it with rest, so that you can face the day with energy and purpose. By tending to your physical well-being, you are not only preparing yourself for the day's challenges, but also showing gratitude for the life God has blessed you with. Let us then approach each morning with a renewed commitment to caring for our bodies, recognizing this as a spiritual act of worship. By doing so, we align ourselves with God's desire for our wholeness and well-being, honoring Him in the way we live, move, and breathe. In this way, we not only please God, but also equip ourselves to fulfill His purpose with strength, joy, and vitality. Communicate and spend time with your family. Communication with your family is the heartbeat of a healthy home, a sacred thread that weaves connection, understanding, and love into the fabric of daily life. Yet, in the hustle and bustle of life, it is often men who find themselves more guilty of neglecting this vital aspect of family life. The demands of work, the pressures of responsibility, and the distractions of the world can pull them away, leaving their presence felt more in absence than in the moments that matter most. Let me say a prayer for the men and women watching this video. God will provide you with opportunities and sources of income that will allow you to express your sincere care and love to your family every day. Being present with your family goes beyond simply being in the same room. It means truly engaging, listening with intention, and sharing your heart. It's about setting aside the worries of the day to focus on the joys and needs of your loved ones. When men choose to be fully present, they create an environment where their family feels valued, heard, and deeply loved. The strength of a man is not only in his ability to provide and protect, but also in his capacity to connect, to offer his undivided attention and care. However, when communication falters and presence is lacking, the family begins to feel the weight of that absence. Conversations become shallow, relationships grow distant, and the warmth of home fades into a cold routine. This neglect can lead to misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and a sense of loneliness that no material provision can fill. God calls men to be leaders in their families, not just in action but in connection. To be present with your family is to fulfill a divine role, to mirror God's unwavering presence and love. When you engage with your family, you are sowing seeds of trust, security, and joy, creating a home that reflects the love of Christ. Let us then be mindful of the moments we share with our families, choosing to be fully present, to communicate with openness and love. By doing so, we honor the relationships God has blessed us with, building a home where love flourishes and where each member feels cherished and understood. In this way, we fulfill our calling and create a legacy of love and presence that will endure for generations. Reflecting on your attitude and improving. In the quiet stillness of the morning, before the day's demands rush in, there is a sacred opportunity for reflection, a moment to look inward and examine the attitudes we carry. The morning, with its fresh start and gentle light, invites us to pause and consider the state of our hearts before we step into the world. Yet, how often do we rush through these precious moments, failing to reflect on our attitudes and missing the chance to be different, to be better? When we neglect this morning reflection, we carry yesterday's burdens, frustrations, and flaws into today, allowing them to shape our interactions and decisions. Without taking the time to examine our hearts, we risk falling into the same patterns of negativity, impatience, or pride that hinder our growth and strain our relationships. This lack of reflection displeases God because it shows a reluctance to embrace the transformation He desires for us. God longs for us to grow in His likeness, to shed the old self and be renewed each day. When we fail to reflect, we resist His refining work in us, clinging instead to attitudes that distance us from His perfect will. It is as if we are saying that the way we were yesterday, with all our flaws and shortcomings, is good enough for today and the days to come. But God has so much more in store for us. A life of continuous growth, of becoming more and more like Christ, of shedding our earthly tendencies in favor of a heart aligned with His divine nature. Each morning, God offers us a new beginning, a chance to start fresh, to turn away from the mistakes of the past, and to walk in His grace and truth. But when we neglect to reflect, we squander this opportunity, choosing instead to carry the weight of unexamined attitudes and unrepented sins into a day that could have been filled with His light and love. This displeases God because it reflects a lack of gratitude for the mercy He extends to us each day, and a disregard for the ongoing work of sanctification He desires to perform in our lives. When we begin our day with reflection, we open our hearts to God's guidance, allowing His wisdom to illuminate the areas where we need to change. In this morning period, we invite the Holy Spirit to refine our attitudes, to soften our hearts, and to prepare us to approach the day with a renewed spirit. It is in these quiet moments that we align ourselves with God's will, setting the tone for a day lived in His grace and love. Reflecting in the morning is not just about identifying what went wrong yesterday, it's about embracing the opportunity to grow today. It's about recognizing that every sunrise is a chance to be more patient, more kind, more loving, to be more like Christ. When we reflect, we give ourselves the gift of self-awareness, acknowledging where we've fallen short and where we can do better. This process of reflection and renewal is essential for our spiritual growth, for it keeps us humble and reliant on God's strength rather than our own. God delights in our desire to grow, to change, and to become the people He has called us to be. When we take the time each morning to reflect on our attitudes, we are saying to God, I want to be better. I want to be more like You. Show me where I need to change. And in that moment of surrender, God meets us with His grace, gently guiding us toward the path of righteousness. Let us therefore make it a habit each morning to pause, reflect, and seek to be different. By doing so, we honor God and embrace the journey of becoming more like Christ, allowing His light to shine through us in all we do. When we choose to reflect and change, we bring joy to God's heart, showing our willingness to grow into the people He created us to be. This daily practice of reflection not only pleases God, but also transforms our lives, bringing us closer to Him and enabling us to live out His will with greater clarity, purpose, and joy. Say this out loud: I become a better person every day. Failing to plan the day in the morning is like setting sail without a compass, adrift on the sea of time without direction or purpose. The morning, with its quiet promise and gentle light, offers a sacred opportunity to align our hearts with God's will, to map out the hours ahead with intention and clarity. Yet when we rush into the day without a plan, we squander this gift, allowing the day's potential to slip through our fingers like sand. Each morning is a fresh canvas, a new beginning that God has graciously given us. It is a chance to seek His guidance, to ask Him to order our steps, and to dedicate our time to what truly matters. But when we fail to plan, we often find ourselves caught in the whirlwind of busyness, reacting to the demands of the day rather than approaching it with purpose. We end up scattering our energy on
Subscribe, like, comment, share. Click the link in the comments for the full video